Hey friends, Patrick here. Just a quick check-in with you. I got this mail in my mailbox at the homestead, and it's from one of the cash buyer operations out there. And I just very quickly wanted to touch on the pieces of it and what I think you should know. My theory, anyway. And there's 6 pieces to it. There's the pay cash. There's the as-is condition. There's the skip the realtor fees. There's the 48 hours, buying virtually because of COVID-19, and then the incentive program. And all 6 of them really are worthy of discussion, but I'm going to keep it really short because YouTube always tells me I talk too long. So first, looking to pay cash. Every offer eventually is cash. There's no other way to buy a home. So cash is a buzzword to get your attention. In the last couple of weeks in St. Catharines, detached homes, 500 to $1 million. There was 20 sales, so basically a sale and a half a day. Almost all of them sold within a week. A bunch of them sold a couple of days. They sold for $17,000 more than the asking price, and they sold quickly. And the only reason they sold in 7 days was because of the delayed presentation of the offers. Without that, the average days in the market might have been 4 or 5. So those homes were bought without conditions. They were paid with cash, and they were sold in a couple, 3, 4, 5 days. The as-is condition piece, realtors deal with that all the time. A house that has, a heater on the pool doesn't work, or the stove doesn't work, or that window's broken, or whichever. The seller makes no representation or warranty whatsoever, or the following things are an as-is condition. The buyer acknowledges, blah, 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 right? There's ways to do that all the time. There's junk in the basement, all these kind of things. Make no mistake. The only reason a buyer is going to take on a house that has a pool heater that doesn't work, or don't worry, leave all your junk in the basement. That's no problem. There's going to be a price adjustment for those things. If you're buying a motorbike, and I'm not an engine guy, the carburetor doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to give you $5,000 for your bike. Wait, the carburetor doesn't work? Okay, now I'm going to give you $4,500 or whatever a carburetor is. I don't even know what it does, but anyway. So you get my point, is that when somebody's going to say to you, okay, no problem, we're going to buy your house. I know the pool heater doesn't work, or I know the AC is cooked, whatever the case may be, or there's all that stuff in the basement, I'm going to take care of it. The price is going to be reflective of that. And so the as-is thing, that's dealt with all the time. And that's what a good realtor does, is they work and they advocate on behalf of the seller to make their life as easy as possible, and to simplify the process and take as many roadblocks and hurdles and issues off the table and deal with it, right? That's what good agency is, whether you're representing a home seller or an NBA player. Best part, you're going to have to skip the realtor fees. This implies that when the realtor sells the house, that they're going to sell it for the same price as the private buyer is going to buy it for. So you have a house and it's going to sell for $500,000 to the investor, right? That's what they are. They're investors. They're not looking to move in their family and have little Timmy learn to ride the bike out front. They're investors. They're looking at it with a ledger, right? So the idea that they're going to buy the home for $500,000 and the realtor is going to buy the home for $500,000, well, sure, then you've got an adjustment to make based on the realtor fees. But what if the investor is going to buy it for $500,000, but the realtor, through preparing the home for market, getting everything ready, doing a pre-marketing plan, video plan, photography, they're going to reach out through their networks. They're going to do some, start the buzz going. So when it hits MLS, there's already some bubbling on the pot. There's showings, there's feedback, there's follow-up, there's questions getting answered. You're sort of, you're connecting with people, you're answering questions, handling objections, all that stuff, right? And you're leading up towards the day when you're going to deal with offers. If that agent gets you the same amount of money as the investor who comes in, something's really wrong. So what if that agent actually can get you 12% more than what the investor is going to give you? Are the realtor fees still an issue if they're going to get you 12% more, 18% more, 9% more, whatever the case may be? Because not only are they going to get you more money, but they're also going to be there to advocate on your behalf and take care of, handle things, right? They're going to fix stuff. That's what our job is. We're fixers. We're advocates. We handle logistics. We handle problems. That's what our gig is. So again, the realtor fees thing is an interesting one because it's a buzzword, but it's always based on both operations selling the home for the same amount. But what if a really good, really skilled, top-notch realtor who knows what they're doing can get you this much money, then the realtor fees are irrelevant, because all of a sudden, instead of getting this much, not only have I got more money, but my life is easier because of it. So the cash offers in 48 hours, as is condition, realtor fees, virtual offers because of COVID. Realtors, look, there was 8,700 homes sold in Niagara last year amongst COVID, and realtors have figured out, and we know what we're doing. So the idea of a virtual offer because of COVID, homes are getting bought and sold every day amongst COVID. There's systems in place, there's protocols, there's rules, there's basic courtesies. It's being done, and it's being done well, and it's being done on a daily basis. I can tell you, if we do a deal where one of the parties is not physically present and it's done virtually, the amount of logistics and due diligence and check boxes that have to be checked in order to do that deal and do it legally, where identities are confirmed and money is coming from sources that are known and approved and all this other stuff, right? The idea of doing a deal privately, virtually, for me, I would be extremely uncomfortable with that, me personally. But that's a whole other one. And then the last one was the bird dog fee, which is the incentive fee, which is me saying to you, hey, give me a buyer, or give me a seller that if I do a deal with them, I'm going to kick you back $4,000. We're not allowed to do that as a real estate industry. It just gets into a bit of a slimy, hey, I'm going to slip $1,000 onto the table for you if you can connect me with that person. We're not allowed to do it. It's just flat out third-party incentivization is a no-no. So anyway, my point is my worry is that somebody gets this letter who isn't in the loop on what's going on. You know, on one end you have a buyer's market where the buyers drive the bus and they're in control, and the other end you have a seller's market and the sellers drive the bus and sellers control. We are firmly in this camp right now. So my concern is that somebody gets this letter, they pin it to their fridge, and it's telling them, hey, I'm going to give you cash. I'm going to give it to you in a couple of days. Your house can be in as-is condition. You don't have to pay any realtor's fees. It's going to be awesome. My concern is that they're going to leave a couple of shoe boxes full of cash on the table when they do that deal. Maybe not, but my worry is that is going to happen. And so I would want, if you go over to your great aunt's house and you see this on a magnet on their fridge, maybe check in and see what's going on, because I would want somebody in their corner that's advocating for them as a seller, that's in their best interests, that knows what the value of the house should be, that can handle all the logistics of the deal to make sure it's structured where they're not going to walk out with $500,000 when they should have walked out with $600,000. And that's my worry with these operations. And I'm not saying they're shady. I'm just not saying they're not always in the best interests of the seller. And that's a big part of the advocacy of the agency of what we do, is we're in their corner and we're battling for them. And these deals are purely done based on dollars and cents. And you buy it for this, I'm going to invest X, and I know I can make Y, let's do the deal. But meanwhile, there's money to play with that the seller is not getting that they should. So if you got one of these letters and you want to chat about it, by all means. If you send these letters and you want to chat about it, by all means, I'm always here to chat as well. The number to call. But otherwise, I hope you're doing very well and you're managing. We're in another lockdown, or lockdown 2.0, or whatever this is called. But hopefully you're doing okay. Would love to hear from you anytime to chat about any and all things real estate. Thanks so much for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Bye.